This is my current setup. So many books to read. Yeah, okay. Hey guys, look at me being back so quick. Quick on my feet. Yeah, I decided that for this vlog, I'm gonna do the 24-hour reading challenge. So here's the thing. I just got my sleeping schedule like normal for someone like me because I'm nocturnal. Like I fully believe that like I'm a nocturnal human being. It sucks because I love the morning. The morning is like my favorite time of day to be up to. It's weird. I'm gonna stop rambling now. Yeah, I'm really excited. I've seen people do this on BookTube, even Book Talk, like all of it, and it's really fun. It's really interesting. And I was like, there are some people who like will like stay up the whole 24 hours, and if you caught me like maybe like a couple months ago, I would definitely be like, oh, easy. But instead of like reading just straight 24 hours, I'm gonna time myself on my timer, and I'm gonna read for like, it's going to be 24 hours, but it's not gonna be like, I don't know if I'm describing this right. Like so if I want to read for an hour, then I'm going to stop at the hour, and then I'm not going to start that timer until I read and pick up a book again. And so then it'll get to 2 hours. And say I read for 6 hours, that's 7 hours of reading that I've logged so far. So that's just like how I'm going to do it. I know it's not like the traditional way. I feel like if I am going to be successful at this challenge, I need to tweak it a little bit. Or not me, I've seen other people do it like this too. I'm copying them. This is not my original idea. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, I'm really excited because of the books that I want to read. Honestly, it'll probably just be this book, but everyone's been raving about Carissa Broadbent right now. Her books are like everywhere on my 40 page. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read this. Like, I haven't really delved into fantasy anywhere else except for Sarah J. Maas. Like, she's really the only fantasy that I've been 100% in on and like understood, and the world just like connected with me, and like it literally like gives me like a high. Like, it's like my drug. People shouldn't compare this to Sarah J. Maas. They just keep saying that it gives the same feelings that Sarah like has evoked with her books, and that these books kind of evoke those same feelings. So these are 2 different series in her books. I have all 3 of these. These just came in the mail, but this is the first one. It's called Daughter of No Worlds. It's the War of Lost Hearts Volume 1. This is a completed series. It has 3 books. My other 2 books are still in my mailbox. Like, for some reason, the Amazon guy left this on my front porch and then left the other one in my mailbox. So I just have to go get them. But like, obviously I'm not going to be reading those. I don't know. It's just not important right now. I'll grab them later. But yeah, so this is the first one of this series, and then her other series is called The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I've heard this one like is just like phenomenal. Like, they're both phenomenal. I heard this one's a little bit more like, has like darker themes and like goes deeper into emotions, and this one's just kind of like more like fun to get into. So, and I've heard a lot of people say you should start this one first because this one is a duet, so it's only 2 book series. I didn't get the second one, or is the second one even out? I don't know. So I think I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna start this even though I don't have the second one, so I feel like when I finish this I'm gonna be like, where is it? Excited to get into a new fantasy series. I'm also gonna be doing my same tabbing system. If you watched my last video where I basically kind of told you guys how I annotate my books, or at least how I've been annotating my Sarah J. Maas books, I'm gonna try that tabbing system with this. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. change it around, add some new things, because I feel like with annotating you have to understand, like, it is really all about preference. It's like how you want to do it, what makes you comfortable. Some people like writing in their books, some people like they can't, like they physically can't. Some people like highlighting, some people like using pen. I'm still doing trial and error with the whole annotating thing, so right now I'm just gonna get it like prepped. I think right now I'm gonna like work on my key and like figuring out like what tabs and colors and like get my annotating in check. I'm gonna put on YouTube. I always put on like an ambiance, something that like has like rain going, or like I can hear like the fire. I always need an ambiance thing going on, or like a movie I've seen a bunch of times, like Harry Potter. I don't know. And then we'll get started. Okay, so I've made my personalized thing. So this is going to be love when it comes to relationships in the books, friends or lovers. The purple is going to be moments I love, and then this like light blue is going to be world building. This dark blue is going to be plot details. This like kind of minty-ish greenish color is going to be character details. This is going to be negative emotions. It's like this deep purple. And then foreshadowing full circle moments are going to be this gray, and then the quotes are going to be like this white. Good enough. So I've gotten this far. I'm only on page 56. I'm only on chapter 7, and it has taken me embarrassingly this long. I'm only 2 hours into this 24 hour. It's okay. I'm about to knock it out of the ballpark right now. Like, I have so much energy right now. I mean, hopefully I can keep this up, but earlier when I was reading, I just like knocked out of nowhere. Like, I just remember reading the words, being like, oh my gosh, why am I so tired, and like knocking out. Like, I took a nap and I don't take that, like, I do, but like I haven't in a while, like a really long time. And I slept last night, like, oh, but like so far it's so good. I do this. I don't know if I should just like talk spoilers, or I'm just gonna talk spoilers. It's my channel, I can do whatever I want. I'm like sitting there debating. I'm like, I can do what I want. So basically, this girl, Oriah, I love her name. It's really cool. It took me a second. I was like, Oriah. I think it's Oriah. She, in the beginning, she is this little girl who her house has like been burnt down and like attacked or whatever, and this like vampire king basically finds her, and instead of like killing her because she's human, he takes her in and basically is his daughter, like, and now you start the book of when she's 23. So it's been a few years, and basically it's kind of giving Hunger Games. There's this trial that she has to do. What's it called? These trials that are held every 100 years. It's called the Kajari. Basically whoever wins gets a, like, receives a gift from this death goddess, and this death goddess is basically like the mother of all vampires. Like, she created vampires, right? And you get like one wish, and she wants to be in it because the whole thing, she's been scared all her life. Like, she's always had to be on fight or flight. Like, she's never, and being in a world of like bloodthirsty vampires, she's never had peace, basically. Like, she's never had luxuries, even though her father is the king of vampires. But even like, he can only protect her so much, but he's trained her. Like, she is a really well trained, I wouldn't say assassin, but like, she's very well trained. She knows how to kill a vampire if she needs to. Also, these vampires have wings. It's giving bat. It's giving bat. Okay, when I heard they had wings, I was like, Bat Boys? Like, Sarah? I'm sorry, I will reference her every single time. I'm sorry. But the lore in it is really cool. Like, she has a whole glossary in the back about, like, she has a whole like dictionary about like what cities and the gods and goddesses, and you know, the lore is really interesting, and I'm having like a lot of fun reading this. And she went to a ball, or like she went with the king, her dad, and just like scout out opponents, and like her and her dad have been working on like what are their weaknesses, and like he has trained her for every outcome, because he basically trained her to use her weakness as a human as an advantage against the vampires, because the vampires would think, oh, she's just a human, she'll be easy to kill. So she can use that to her advantage and take them by surprise. You know what I'm saying? It's just so, it's really good, and it's really easy to like get into. Like, this isn't like a hard fantasy where I'm like, what's going on? You know, like, it's really, I'm loving it so far. Like, I was like in the shower, I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to like lay down and read. Like, I'm gonna go tonight. Like, I want to get to like, I don't know, I'm just gonna keep reading until I fall asleep again. Hey guys, so I'm mad at myself because I've been doing so bad vlogging. well, it's gonna be a minute when you realize how much time I have logged for the 24-hour reading challenge. I have to give you a big update. But basically, last time I filmed, I only think I had like 2 hours or something like that. And that night, I ended up doing like 5 more hours. So that was like 7 hours, and then the next day. But it didn't take me 11 hours straight to read this. I stopped in the middle, and I just saw this TikTok of a book that just looked interesting, and I'm a mood reader, and I don't know, like, it just caught my attention, and I wanted to read it right then and there. So I switched to another book. I'll put it up. I forgot the name right off the top of my head. It was cute. It was a good palate cleanser. It was Small Town Romance, and it was giving like Nicholas Sparks, but like a little bit spicier. But it was a good palate cleanse, you know. I've been like going back to back with fantasy. Sometimes the world building and the names you can't pronounce can like get to you. Yeah, so right now you're gonna be like, you're no way. That's where I'm at. I'm at 17 hours of reading time. I have read for 17 hours. I did finish The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I already ordered the second book, and so good. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I loved it. What I've been reading, like, so this morning I read 3 more hours, which it got me at 14 hours, and I went back to this. And I'm a slow reader when it comes to reading fantasy, anything, especially if I'm annotating, because I have to sit and I have to pause and I have to underline, and then I like, sometimes I reread scenes because I love them so much. Like, I'm just not as fast as I am on my Kindle or on my phone or like whatever. Like when I'm on my Kindle, it's like, where does time go? It just like flashes like away, like in a blink of an eye. And in the past 3 hours, I didn't realize, but the author has them on Kindle Unlimited for free. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read these right now. I highly recommend getting Kindle Unlimited. It is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I have started reading the second one. I did order the paperback version, but it doesn't come until Monday. But when I saw that the second one was on Kindle, I was like, there's no way. Like, because it ends with a cliffhanger at the end. And I was just like, I gotta know. Like, I can't wait till Monday. So far, I'm on page 147 out of 665. This book is way bigger than this book. This book was only like 470 pages-ish. This one's a whole 200 plus more pages. It's 60, yeah. So I'm only 20% of the way. So my Kindle's telling me. And it is so good. So good. But yeah, I also read another book in the middle of these two. So with reading all of that, that gives me about 17 hours. And I'm going to keep going right now because I'm up. Okay, currently so last night I like passed out. I didn't, whatever. It's still going. I need to stop because I'm about to talk for a second. So I'm so close. I literally only have like a couple hours left. And on the second book, I'm so shook I got this far, but I'm not shook because it's on my phone. Like, I demolished, like, I'm almost done with the 6th. I'm on, last time we talked, I think I was on like page, I don't even know what page I was on. I was only 20% of the way done. It's saying 66% done. I'm on page 434. That was last night. And I started this like late evening yesterday. I have no complaints. I have nothing to complain about. Nothing. So Yeah, it's so good. The second book, so good. Like, she has this man on his knees. Like, she has this man in a chokehold. Like, she walk him like a dog, girl. Walk him like a dog. Like, seriously, like, that's like every time that's the song that goes on in my head. I'm just like, wow. Okay, so like, what are you doing here? Where's the magic? What's the secret? It's so good. Like, this is gonna be 5 out of 5. I can already tell so far. I still have about 200-ish pages left to go, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Y'all want to see my notes that I have saved? Because I was like, okay, well, when I get my physical copy tomorrow, I'm just gonna like go and like copy like what I highlighted. So like, this is like all the things I've highlighted. Also liked about this book that's so much better, it's dual POV. Like, we get, so in the first book it was just Oriah, right? Like, it was just her first person, which it's also first person, thank God. But in this book we get Rain's point of view. Oh, I love when we get the MMC's point of view. Like, I just love being in the man's head. Like, what do you think about? What do you think about? Okay guys, I finally finished the 24-hour reading challenge. I did it. I kind of went like 8 minutes over, but yeah, 24 hours of reading, not straight, but just a total 24 hours the past like 2.5, 3 days. I think for each 24-hour reading challenge I'm gonna attempt to like make it actually like I read for 24 hours straight. But on my first time going, I think I did pretty good. I actually like read a lot. I was like, oh, I'll just like read this one book for the 24-hour reading challenge. But if you're going to read for 24 collective hours, it doesn't take me 24 like hours to read a book. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were to sit down and actually read, it wouldn't take me 24 hours. It would take me a total of maybe, and depending on what I'm reading, like if I'm reading a paperback and it's fantasy, whatever, it could take me anywhere between like 4 to 7 hours, depending on how fast I'm going. Like, it all just ranges, okay? But let's talk about what I read, how I'm feeling about them, because I actually read some good stuff. I read a total of 4 books in this reading challenge. Okay, first I'm going to start with the very first book I read, and I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. 5 out of 5. Just saying, I can't wait to read her other series and all her other books. Everything I already know after reading this duology, or like these 2 books. I'm gonna want to read everything that she's gonna write. Like, she's already one of my favorite authors already. This is another one of her series that I'm gonna start. I have all 3 books, so I'm probably gonna start this sometime this week. But yeah, Serpent and the Wings of Night was 5 out of 5 for me. So good. It has to do with like vampires, and like there's a trial throughout the whole book. It's giving Hunger Games meets like vampires and magic, and like really cool world building, really cool like magic system. My annotating kept up with this book. I had so much fun annotating like a fantasy book that wasn't Sarah J Maas, you know? And this like was just so, it was quick. It was, the romance was like slow burn, enemies to lovers, like they have to, like when they're in the trials, she kind of allies with the main male character. Oriah is a bad bitch. And the plot twist, there's so many plot twists at the end of the first book that I was just like, and it's at like the very end too, you know, it's not the last 70% of the book, it's like the last 90% of the book, and you're just like, wait, another one? Wait, another one? Like, what's going on? And then I lucked out because on the 14th, the second book came out. April 14th, the second book came out, like literally right when I finished this. So I ordered it. It's coming in today actually. But I was just, these are on Kindle Unlimited. All of Carissa Broadbent's books are on Kindle Unlimited as well. So like you don't really have to get the physical copy, but for fantasy it's easier for me. But I was too excited, and this book left on kind of like a cliffhanger. So I immediately went and read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This was 600 pages and I read it so quickly. I think of a total of like maybe like 6-7 hours, like 3 hours the night it came out and then 4 hours the next day, and I finished it so quickly. So good. 5 out of 5. Really wrapped up Oriah and Rain's story, even though like that's their main story, but she's coming out with more books in this world, just not them as the main point of view and like people, you know. We'll probably see them throughout, but we're gonna be focusing on other characters, I think, with her other books coming out. So those two, so good if you're looking for something fantasy. If you've read anything by Sarah J Maas and you're kind of looking for like the same feelings, I really got a lot of the same feelings, you know. So good. First I read Tragic, and I was reading these two, the next two, in between these fantasy books, because sometimes you just need like a palate cleanser. Sometimes like your mind kind of needs a break from fantasy, just because sometimes it can be a lot. Because with fantasy there's world building, there's politics, how that world works. Sometimes you just need something that like you don't need brain power for. It's just like cute, it's simple, it's to the point, like let's just go. It was really cute. It was like a small town romance, grumpy sunshine, like neighbors. It's in Montana. She moves in, she's just like recently divorced, and she has this like hot grumpy neighbor, but there's a lot more to his past. But it was really cute. It was giving Nicholas Sparks. It was giving Nicholas Sparks easy small town romance, you know, with a little bit of spice. Main character in this book has a brother, and you're gonna be shook because his brother's like part of his past, like the trauma, and then you realize his brother has his own book, and it's called Riven Knight by W. Perry. It was really good. It's simple writing, you know. It's just very like, again, like I said, palette cleanser. I don't have to think hard. Did I get attached to these characters? No, not really. Their stories were cute though. Like, I'm not like, I give these books like 3 stars, you know. Really good. They were really sweet. But yeah, that was everything I read for my 24-hour reading challenge. I had so much fun doing this. It was just like, and to challenge myself in my reading, see how much I could do with that amount of hours. And it was cool. I got 4 books done in 24 hours, and 2 of them being big fantasy books. So like, round of applause for me. I'm proud of myself. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Also, I want to talk about my Amazon storefront. I'm linking it down below. I linked it in my last video. If you didn't watch my last video was a reading vlog. And I put all the books that, not all of them, but a lot of my favorite books are linked in there. My annotating, what I use for annotating, what I use for journaling. I also added other stuff. I added makeup and skincare. I added some of the summer clothes I like, some of my favorite home essentials, health and wellness. I'm like thinking at the top of my head. But yeah, I'm gonna be linking my Amazon storefront from now on in my description, so if you want to go check that out, cool, you know, go see what I'm buying on Amazon. Make sure that, you know, you do all the things for the YouTubers. You subscribe, you like. Tell me if you like these kind of videos, if you want to keep seeing these type of videos, what other type of videos you want me to do when it comes to like reading or vlogs or anything like that. I would love to know your feedback. I also updated my Goodreads finally. Since like October, I've not updated it in like forever, but I finally did it. So my Goodreads is now up to date with my current reads, what I'm currently reading, all that stuff. It's super fun. I'm finally getting on track. I'm just really enjoying making my YouTube more book-based, if you can't already tell. So thank you if you're along on the ride with me. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully I'll be coming out with another video soon, and thank you guys for watching. Love you.